Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shower Thoughts, a place for calm, collected reflection on life and all of its beautiful, delicate intricacies. This time, we'll be going through some of the top shower thoughts of the last month, commenting on them, thinking about their extreme significance and how they relate to all of our lives and play a role in our day-to-day goings-on. We'll be going through, let's say 15 of them or so, because, these can require a little bit more thought to them than the average GIF or picture. So anyway, let's start with number 15 here. It bothers me so much that there are so many songs I don't know about that I might like so much. Yes, that is very true. There are no doubt very, very many songs out there in the world that are exactly what we would love to hear, except we don't know they exist. But I would argue that that doesn't bother me. In fact, it excites me a little bit, because it means that I will be able to keep finding new music that I'll enjoy, whether it's new releases that are coming out, haven't been released yet, or old songs that I might really, really enjoy. The fact that there's a world of possibility out there is a good thing. If I knew every single song, there's probably a good chance I would have already listened to it on repeat and sort of exhausted it, and then I'd be like, wow, there's no more left. That's a bummer. I've gone through all of it. But instead, there's a world of possibility. So I would argue that's a plus, because, when I find a new song that I really enjoy, I exhaust the heck out of that. I listen to it like 20, 30 times on repeat the first day, and then I'm like, all right, I'm good. And then I'm no longer as excited about it when I listen to it again the next day, and then I'm like, that's a bummer. I was way more excited about this yesterday. I wish I could still have that feeling. I wish I hadn't done that, but I always do. Women of my generation never say I'm attractive, but my grandma's friends are always saying what a handsome young man I am, leading me to believe that I would have been good looking had I ever lived in the 1930s. There must be something that when you reach a certain age, when you hit like 70 or so, some non-disclosure agreement you must have to sign that's like, all right, you're required to say all young men are handsome now. Okay, but you can't tell anyone that you've been required to say this. It's just this beautifully well-kept secret amongst all old people somehow that's never gotten out, but I'm pretty sure they're required to say it. I don't know what the punishment is if they don't say it, but all of them seem to say that, whether or not it's actually true. I'm like, you guys, if you say that about everyone, then it nullifies the significance of it. You gotta be choosy. You can't just say everyone is handsome, as nice as it might be, because then if everyone is handsome, is anyone handsome? Because, yeah, that'd be another shower thought. If they say everyone is handsome, is anyone actually really all that handsome? Or maybe, you know what? Maybe I would have had some real great luck living back then. Send me back to Mad Men. Don Draper me up. Technically, almost every mirror you buy at a store is in used condition. That's pretty accurate. I realize maybe I should be clicking on some of these things and we can reflect on some of the comments, or reflect on our reflection in the mirror. At least I can assume the mirrors in the store haven't had anyone squatting over them with a suction cup toy doing web chats. That escalated quickly. What? How did it go from that to that? Jesus Christ. Speaking of mirrors, dude, I tried getting a stand-up mirror because I don't have any full-body stand-up mirrors anywhere in my house. And I never have, actually, in the past 5 years of my living alone. What do you know about that? And I tried to get one 4 delivery attempts later. Just first time, they gave the wrong mirror from the store. Second time, mirror was like broken at the port. Third time, it got like broken in the store. Fourth time, they make it all the way to my house, pull it out of the truck. They're like, oh, sorry, the mirror is cracked. I'm like, this is the 4th time that you guys have tried to make this happen. And we're done. We're done here. I'm not destined to get a full body mirror, okay? And it was in a box, so nobody had actually been able to use that mirror before, so it wasn't used. Okay, 5 is like an honorary even number. Dude, it is. I even sometimes call 5 an even number as like as I call it a quote unquote even, because it's like, it's a nice flat even number. I don't know why flat would be a way to describe a number, but it is, in my opinion. You could balance something on top of a 5 as long as the base were secured, because the base would roll around a little bit, but it's flat on top. That's what I mean by a flat number, obviously. Really, I think it's just that the factors of 10 are all treated equally. 1, 2, 5, 10. I don't know what do you mean they're all treated equally? I mean, I guess one is a pretty nice number. I'd want to hang out and grab a coffee with one, even though I've never had a cup of coffee. But I'd do it for one. You know, if one was like, hey, let's get coffee, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe I'll have my one cup of coffee for you. One. You make lives pretty easy. At special occasions, girls with curly hair straighten it, and girls with straight hair curl it. Kind of. It's more so that people just vary it up a little bit. I don't know that. Obviously, if you have straight hair and you want to do something different, you have to go curly. The grass is always greener. I don't think it's like a rule, though, that people with straight hair always go and curl it for events and vice versa. It's just kind of like, you know, if you're going to do something, if you have straight hair, you're not going to need to straight the straight. If you have curly hair, you're not going to need to curl the curls. Yeah, it makes sense. As a bald guy, I forget people have to do stuff with hair. I just go places. As a future bald guy myself, part of me looks forward to not ever having to maintain hair again, given that I just actually got a haircut. This is very topical. Part of me is kind of bummed because I do like having some hair, and the way I'll end up later on in life is that there will be hair everywhere except the top of my head. My genetics are going to be good for that. I have little grays actually appearing every now and again in little places, and by the time I'm like, I don't know, 35, we'll probably get some like falling out. By the time I'm 45, it'll probably be a more noticeable bald spot. And I've always told myself, once we get that bald spot, I'm shaving. It's coming off. Being junior or the second is the real life equivalent of having to put numbers after a username. As someone who, there's like no one in my family who has that kind of name. My family has a lot of things that are like not super standard, just like not a lot of, especially on my mom's side, like not a lot of kids. I only have one cousin, one first cousin on the entirety of my mom's side of the family. Yeah, so basically I am the last of my name. And as someone who doesn't plan on having kids, I'm the end of the line. Hey, you know what? It is what it is. I guess on my dad's side, I have some first cousins there, a couple of them. I think only those first cousins are like the only people in my family who have tattoos that I can identify. No one else does. Anyway, and then no junior or the seconds. Everyone has their own names. I guess we're non-standard in that sense. Very plain, very vanilla. Not a lot of extravagance going on there. It's just kind of like let's just do our lives. Let's just cruise through it and not do anything too crazy. The most unrealistic thing about Harry Potter is that they all eventually use all the skills that they learn at school. Except for, I was trying to think of like, what do they not use? Also, you don't really know, what did they do after the whole thing concluded? You have that big gap in between when like the Hogwarts saga of Harry Potter ends to that last subway train kind of conclusion. I don't want to spoil too much stuff in case you are one of the 2 people watching this who have not interacted, read, watched Harry Potter. Just do it. Just go do it. Okay? It's magic. The most unrealistic thing is that Hogwarts doesn't teach basic non-magic skills. Like in the first book, when Hermione mentions that a logic puzzle would stop the majority of all trained wizards from moving forward, that's completely ridiculous. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They don't learn math or anything like that. It's just like pointing wands at things. So I guess, how did anyone ever calculate what proportions of stuff needed to go into the making of the wands, for example, or any of the magical stuff? There had to be some math involved, but no one's learning math in school. Let's break down the logic behind a fictional novel about magic, okay? They needed to learn math and they didn't. It's all a lie. Harry Potter's a lie. Every semicolon I have ever used has been a shot in the dark. Very much agreed. This post is too long, semicolon. I did not read it. I have on a couple occasions used semicolons knowing that it was accurate, but also at the same time, I feel like I've never used a semicolon when there wasn't an alternative that would work just as well. Yeah, I'm not good at words and English and writing and grammar and all that stuff. Honey is totally underrated. It's the only natural food that's made without destroying any life of any kind. It's also the only food that won't rot. Is that real? Fruit is meant to be eaten, and our feces serve as fertilizer for the seeds that we also crap out with the remains of the fruit. Should you do so on the ground or in a hole in the ground, then it will grow into a plant. In a sense, we are giving them life by eating their fruit Honey is also good because when you ferment it, it becomes mead. I think I've ever had mead. Also, Harry Potter has the little village place called Hogsmeade. I'm sure you can buy honey and buy drinks and butterbeer and stuff. I guess that makes sense because, well, I wonder. I've pooped in nature like a couple times, and I wonder, I've never done the leaf toilet paper thing. Have I ever grown a plant from my poop? Shrek may unintentionally have the most realistic message of all animated films that regardless of inner beauty, people will probably end up with someone who matches them outwardly. Oh, God. Hunchback of Notre Dame taught me that first. God damn, that's a downer right there. It's like, yeah, it only worked out for Shrek once the princess turned into an ogre. What a... That's real life for you. You're stuck in your own class of looks. Hey, you know what? At the very least, I can attest to this over the past year and a half. If you eat correctly and go to the gym on a very regular basis, you can very, very, very much improve your looks, regardless of your genetics. Like, if you are fit and healthy, it will improve your looks dramatically. So you can at least have that sort of impact on yourself. There's obviously some things that are completely genetic that you can't change, but you can do a lot. You can do a lot without having to like do plastic surgery or anything of that. If Apple manufactured clothing, they'd probably have all the belt loops on their jeans a different size than normal, so you'd have to buy an Apple belt. I mean, who needs headphone jacks? See, here's the thing. I've paid more attention to this since that whole like headphone jack deal, right? Also, by the way, holy God, I have so many adapters in the Ferrari. I have 3 adapters in order to be able to play music from my phone because it has the old original iPod 12 pin thing, whatever, as like a stock cable that's attached to the car. Then I had to get a converter from that to Lightning, and then I had to get another cable so that it would be lengthy because it's just a stubby little adapter thing. And then I have 3 things. I have 3 cables, and then it goes into a case, and then it goes into the phone. But the music comes out. Most of the time, it sometimes stops working, but it's a lot of adapters. But I have had to utilize headphones because, like, auxiliary, if I go over to a friend's house and I'm like, hey, do you want to listen to a music track that I've been working on? Do you have an auxiliary port? And I have been so thankful for having my headphone jack. One of the reasons I haven't upgraded is freaking headphone jacks are important. Hey. Scotch aged 12 years sounds a lot better than Scotch from 2005. I guess. A lot of things in this world are all about phrasing, though. Scots aged 12 years could be from the 1500s. It only ages in the barrel. Wait, is that a typo or is that something about people from Scotland? I can't tell. I mean, technically, everything is like, if we all came from the stars, then Scotch aged 12 years is technically from particles that are billions of years old. Oh, man. That'd be a shower thought in and of itself. We're all billions of years old because the particles that are made from us have been around for that long. I wish you could just record silence and then play it on loudspeakers on full blast to make the whole room quiet. Okay, well, technically, you could that's what noise-canceling headphones are, is that they take in the sound from the outside and they send out like a destructive frequency that basically goes the opposite amplitudes of the peaks coming in to cancel out, because sound waves do work that way. So I suppose if you could do some sort of bigger system of that, maybe you could have loudspeakers that make it quieter if you had destructive interference. I wonder. Also, I like quiet. Quiet's great. But when you're in like complete quiet, it's kind of eerie at the same time. I can imagine if you were able to make that happen with the loudspeakers, like it'd probably actually be really weird to be in a room that's like, because I don't know if you've ever been inside of a recording booth at a studio, it's eerily quiet. It's kind of unsettling because you hear like your body move as you move. You're like, oh, I didn't realize my joints made noises. I don't like it. Oh God, my swallowing is really loud. Oh, I can hear my saliva move when I shift my mouth and talk. I want ambient noise again, help. And then you like leave and you're like, this is bad. You kind of want like some amount of noise. Otherwise, it is a little unsettling, honestly. All right, so that was the shower thoughts for the month. I hope you've enjoyed this reflection on life. And again, we'll be back to the standard, more graphically pleasing subreddits next time around, but I think these are fun to do on occasion. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like if you like. Check out the playlist in the description if you want to catch more Reddit videos that have GIFs and pictures and things of that nature. Subscribe if you're not already, and if you want to listen to music on the Marin Music channel and all that, link in the outro. Songs playing. All right, I'll see you next time.